Today we'll be taking a look at several new comments from John Cena, a canceled feud for Roman Reigns, Alexa Bliss, and much more. Let's kick things off with John Cena. Cena hasn't been seen on WWE programming since SummerSlam, but he's obviously still very active in the Hollywood scene. John Cena is currently on a media run to promote his new HBO series, Peacemaker, which will center around his DC Comics villain character. The series has been in production for a long time. Quick fun fact, this is the project that made John Cena miss WrestleMania 37 as well, because they were still in the middle of filming at the time. But everything has been finished and the series is dropping this week. John Cena has been making some big appearances on The Ellen Show, The Rich Eisen Show, and much more. So let's take a look at some of the topics he had to talk about there. Ellen asked John Cena about WrestleMania and a WWE return. Cena had this to say in regards to that topic, quote, "So WrestleMania is usually in the cusp of late March, early April. I don't know if I'm gonna make it this year, and that's a good conundrum to have because there's a lot of good opportunity coming up which I would love to take. And if all those things line up, I don't know if I'll be able to make WrestleMania, but I will tell you and everybody else out there watching, I'm not done with WWE by a long shot. That's my home, I love it." End quote. Of course, when it comes to this topic of WrestleMania returns, it's always hard to trust what a superstar is saying because obviously they're going to say that they can't make it just to keep it a surprise. So that's what makes it hard to trust John Cena's words here. Is he telling the truth about not being able to make it? Or could there still be a last-second surprise that he obviously wouldn't tell us about? That's what makes this hard to believe. If John Cena does miss WrestleMania 38, it'll be his second miss WrestleMania in a row. His last WrestleMania appearance was at the Firefly Funhouse match, and his last legitimate match in front of a WrestleMania crowd was WrestleMania 34. So it's been quite some time since John Cena had a real WrestleMania match. But if he's telling the truth here, then it looks like it'll be another missed Mania for him after all. Of course, the positive thing that Cena confirmed there in those same comments is that he's not done with WWE. He did confirm that he'll eventually return and will be back. John Cena then appeared on The Rich Eisen Show and finally broke his silence on the recent WWE releases. For nearly 2 years now, everyone has come accustomed to WWE releasing superstars left and right. John Cena has never really commented on the situation until now. He had this to say while speaking with Rich Eisen, quote, "They're also really bullish on continuing to hire new talent. So the NXT Performance Center is, I don't want to say overwhelmed, but they're at max capacity. So you have all these performers and a lot of them aren't getting a chance to perform. And I think that's the real frustrating thing, both to WWE and from a stance of a performer. I was brought up in biannual cuts, and it happened all the time. And I just think WWE went through such a long period of not releasing anybody, and now they're kind of getting back into that rhythm again. That is a very abrupt shift to somebody who's not familiar with that, and I do. My heart goes out to everybody who has to get that sad news because that's a tough conversation to have." End quote. So Cena is saying back in the day, that was the norm. Everyone was used to these massive releases every so often. But then WWE stopped releasing superstars for a long time. That Cena feels like it's definitely a sudden shift to what this new generation was used to. Cena then appeared on Pat's show and talked about how they almost turned him heel during the feud with The Rock. He had this to say about that, quote, "I remember Vince toyed with the idea of turning me heel versus The Rock in Miami. I said, no problem, I understand, I'll do it. Just remember that we are so deep in at this point that we can't do it and then jump back because we'll be sunk at both ends. If we do it, I have to be the opposite of virtue. I have to be pure evil, and we go all in. From a believability standpoint, people always see me in uniform because I want people to know that what they see is someone they can relate to." He decided against it, and at that point he said, "I don't think we're going to do it." End quote. So that's the closest that Vince McMahon ever got to turning John Cena fully heel. It would have been during that 2012 feud with The Rock. Even though Cena never turned heel during that feud, he was still treated like a heel from the crowd, especially with WrestleMania being in The Rock's hometown that year. That played a factor as well. But it definitely was very interesting to hear John Cena discuss all these different topics, and hopefully we see him back in the ring soon. Quick update for Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss took to her Instagram story to post a picture of herself with all pink hair. Alexa's blonde hair with the pink tips is a signature look for her character. Even throughout the entire Bray Wyatt change in her persona, she still kept that pink-tipped look. So Alexa posting this picture of a new look was quite the big news because she has had the same hair for all these years. So fans were freaking out, wondering if this was Alexa basically leaking a new look for what she'll be looking like towards the end of these therapy sessions. Other fans were discussing if it was a wig or if it was a filter. Some fans thought it looked real, so it was this big debate and discussion amongst the fans. Alexa's done this before. She teased black-tipped hair for WrestleMania 35, but it never happened. So it's definitely interesting. Is Alexa just messing around and trying out these different looks for fun? Or could this legitimately be her new look she brings to WWE television in the future? Watch out for a fully pink hair version of Alexa Bliss possibly in the future. Roman Reigns has just surpassed 500 days as WWE World Champion, and in a few days, he'll become the longest reigning Universal Champion of all time. He has had a lot of great feuds during his time as champion, but there's some feuds that we never had a chance to see, the first one obviously being with Jeff Hardy. It was reported that Heyman and Roman were on board and excited to work with Jeff Hardy. That feud was rumored for early 2022, but obviously didn't take place due to Hardy's release. Another former WWE superstar that was supposed to work with Roman was Karrion Kross. Kross revealed in an interview that he had originally heard rumblings that there were plans for him to work with Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, and all these other massive superstars. But everyone knows how that went as well. NXT version of Kross probably could have done something with Roman and all these other names, but main roster Kross was basically ruined during his first night on Raw. So it's unfortunate how that turned out, but we could have seen Kross and Reigns down the line as well. But what are your thoughts on all of today's stories with John Cena, Alexa Bliss, and Roman Reigns? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.